Hi, it's Carissa, and I am here with a Christmas card that was inspired by a video that I saw on kwernerdesign.com. This was a very cool card that she did, so I'm going to do a variation of that today. What I have here is a transparency. You can probably see it if, you know, I do this with it. I'm going to be using the Serene Snowflakes stamp set from Stampin Up and some Stays On in the Cotton White to stamp on this, and I just got to make sure that I am stamping in the right direction. Okay, so this measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/2, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up my stamps. When you're stamping on transparencies, you need to use Stays On ink or something like that. And I'm going to hold it in place, and when I push down, I want to make sure that I'm not twisting or rocking or anything like that, because it will smudge very easily on the transparencies. And you're probably not going to be able to see this right away, but in just a minute I will take this white sheet out and you'll be able to see what I have stamped on here. So I'm just taking a few of the different snowflakes and stamping them on this transparency. Okay, so I've stamped my snowflakes on the transparency, and hopefully you are able to see that now. So I just have them kind of randomly. I kind of tried to do my pattern kind of where it was kind of descending at an angle, not all even or anything like that. So that's what I have there. I'm going to set this aside to dry. Stays On usually doesn't take that long to dry. The white is a little bit. So next I have this piece of Bravo Burgundy cardstock. It's cut at 1 1/2 by 4 1/4. And I'm just going to punch this eyelet border punch along the edge of this. And you'll see in this card I'm kind of working on different elements, and you're going to kind of see it all come together at the end. So it's going to be maybe seem a little piecey and like, where is she going with this? But I'm gonna get there, I promise. Okay? Just hang in there with me. Okay, so that's punched, and I am going to sponge it with some chocolate chip ink. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun because I do want the chocolate chip ink to be nice and dry, because I'm going to go back and stamp some Versamark ink and then emboss on this. So I'm just hitting it just to kind of dry that ink. I learned earlier that if you don't get that chocolate chip, even though it's just dye ink, if it's not dry, your embossing powder will stick to it. So I did learn that. Also, another lesson I learned the hard way is do not emboss on this. Do not leave your paper on your cutting mat to emboss it, because I did warp my mat. Luckily, I was able to kind of keep it heated and then push it back down into place. I'm going to hit this with this embossing Betty thing, my bob. But anyway, as I was saying, I was able to reshape it back into the shape, but just don't leave your... Learn from my mistakes. Okay, things I learned the hard way. Maybe I should do a video about all the things I've learned the hard way from stamping. Okay. Somebody should have told me. They never told me. Okay, just pouring some gold embossing powder on top of that. That was the Merry Christmas stamp from Teeny Tiny Wishes. Of course, one of my new favorites. Just tapping off the excess there. And then I'm going to pick this up and hold it carefully while I emboss. Okay, so the next element that I'm going to work on is this flower and button. This flower is simply, I found one of those big hydrangeas at the craft store, and I tore it apart. And then I layered 2 of those little tiny flowers that are on top of the hydrangea together to get this. And what I'm doing is I just have a button that I had around here, and I'm just threading some gold organdy ribbon through the holes. I'm going to bring it back up through and tie it in a knot on top. And then I'm going to put this button right in the center of my flower. So I have a little more than I need, but sometimes it just makes life a lot easier. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here. Hopefully you understand. Okay, so I have that tied. I'm just going to trim this down, leave just a little bit, not too much. And then what I'm going to do is take a glue dot and then mount that right there. Okay, so now I have all my components here together, and you're going to see this card start taking shape. Let me grab my snail adhesive, and I'm just going to mount this on top of the black. And I don't want any of the black showing through the holes on this punch, so I'm just kind of, you can even flip it over and do it from the back, just so that you make sure that none of that's showing through. Okay, that's mounted there. I'm going to take this is a wider piece of the same gold grosgrain ribbon that I tied through the center of the flower, and I'm just going to tie this in a knot here. Okay, get it laying flat. I'm just going to trim this to where it has a little bit of tail left on it, and this will go here or something like that. I want to start this part though. So this is my craft card base. It was cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and what I'm going to do with this, I scored it, folded it, and then I cut 3 inches off of this part. So I kind of did that on my last card. You saw that. So, and then I'm just going to take and right along the very edge of this craft piece, I'm going to put a line of snail so that I'm going to line this up by the corners on the bottom. And then I'm going to press it on there. Okay, so now you have this seam here. Can you see it? So this goes right, oh, you know what I did too? I wanted this snowflake, this top one, to actually be on this side. So because this is transparency, because this is going to be covered, I'm going to rip it up. And I'm totally tearing up my paper right now. That's okay. This is all going to be covered. Now you know my secret. Sometimes underneath the pretty, there's a lot of ugly. Snowflake on this side. Da, 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 da. I will get this right today. Okay. Try to get that last little bit of ugly off. Okay. Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna see it. Okay, this is gonna go right here. Here I go with my overuse of adhesive again. So when I go to line this up, I'm going to just kind of put it like this. Make sure I'm straight. I'm having a crooked kind of day. Looks fairly straight to me. Okay. So there's that, and then I just have my little flower to put on, and this is kind of driving me crazy because this knot is like not allowing me to put it the way I want it to be on there. So I'm just going to put it just like that to where these tails are coming out the bottom. So let me grab a glue dot. I'm not doing this on camera because me and glue dots, we are not friends. Okay, so I have my flower on there, and there is my card with my cool transparency bottom. And so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.